Boker Tov, Shalom. Welcome to She's Keeping It Royal. This is my first time live, I believe. No, I've done a couple videos. Anyway, I just had something that was on my heart this morning. I was at a city-county game this past weekend, and I'm watching the athletes, and I'm watching the entertainment portion of the halftime. And in a stadium full of parents and faculty and students, and a lot of the students who are going on to higher education and higher learning. I believe the DJ's name was DJ Syrup, and I don't know who the entertainment was. But listening to the lyrics, again, in a crowd, a stadium filled with, supposed to be a family-friendly event. Children are there, parents, grandparents. I don't know if scouts come. Again, educators, people from the community. And they're watching these children perform. And the lyrics to this song are, I just want to stay high. Look at her, she's a bad one. Look at her butt and ass and all these things. And I was immediately infuriated because, one, the perpetuation of a cycle and a curse. We magnify all of the exterior and the music the music is powerful. Music is very powerful. If anybody studies music, frequencies, and all of these things, music is what ushers us into worship, puts you in a frame of mind, prepares your mind to meditate or to hear a message. And so the message that's continually our children are continually bombarded with is sex, drugs, what your body looks like, how bad you are, dancing, and nothing is wrong with dancing. We are creatures that were created for praise and worship. So all of the tools that are ours and Yah gave us to magnify and worship Him, the enemy gets in our children's ears, and media helps to perpetuate this as well. Parents as well, because we're told to teach our children, to teach them the commandments, to ingrain these things upon their forehead when they come and when they go. They're supposed to be taught that they're royalty, that they are beautiful, that they're kings and queens, and that their gifts are to be used for the Most High. But it's always crazy to see how crafty the enemy is, because again, he watched creation from the beginning, and he gives the very gifts that are given to us. He entices us to use them to destroy ourselves. We use the gifts that are given to us by our Creator to destroy ourselves and to give Him worship, give Hasatan worship, instead of magnifying our Creator. I know I just went off on a little tangent, but what really ticked me off was whoever coordinated this event, whoever was in charge of entertainment, you didn't take them through the filter and see, hey, what are the lyrics you're going to sing? We're in Clovis. First of all, we are in a society now where everything is race. Everybody is judged based on another person's behavior. I don't care if I went to college and have 2 degrees. When they look at me and they hear that music and they see us in the group, they think we're all the same. And then our children are given this hip-hop music played on a low frequency with these foolish lyrics, and our children meditate on that. But their children, when they have music and music departments, they're taught to play instruments. They listen to Bach, Beethoven. The music is played at a frequency that stimulates growth and education, and stimulates them for science and mathematics. That is for us. They took what was ours and gave us junk, just like they did in slavery. They kept us in a perpetuated curse. They kept us in a perpetual state of cursed activity. Gave us pigs, rodents, everything that the Most High told us that was an abomination to us. They gave it to us, and so, oh no, it's okay. Just, they taught us witchcraft. Do a little witchcraft, although we got kicked out of the land for doing witchcraft as well. But they helped us to stay in that perpetual state of mind that I can practice witchcraft by proclaiming something to do what it's not designed to do. That's an abomination, first of all. If I'm going to eat a pig and it's an abomination, I'm asking it to perform what it's supposed to perform in my body, and that is to create dis-ease, and all the garbage that is in the pig go into my body and nourish my body and do what you were created to do to my body. That's the same thing it is with these drugs. Our children talk, oh, you can just sin, you can just drive by, kill somebody, ask God for forgiveness, he gonna forgive you. I've been really struggling with this whole thing with lately with forgiveness, and especially as after I've come out into the walk, obeying Torah. How do you deliberately continue in the same sin and keep asking for forgiveness, and then have the audacity to be upset with a person or even with Yah about the consequences that come from your intentional decision? You intentionally continue to disobey. You intentionally, with full volition and with a cognitive mind, make choices that are going to bring consequences that are just uncomfortable, but then you want the consequences taken away. Yeah, he forgives, but the consequence is there because he's conditional. He says, if you obey, then I bless you. If you disobey, these are the curses. I mean, it's just plain as day. And it's like you're not going into a relationship with the Most High blind, not informed. He's very clear about the things that are offensive to him, and he's very clear about the things that keep you in good standing in relationship with him. So to do anything different and then to ask him to forgive it when you know that he hates it means you should have never even agreed to be in the relationship. But a lot of people jump into relationships. I know I done went all on another tangent because I was talking about the children at the football game, but it'll all tie in a minute. I'm just sometimes organized chaos. My mind goes from here to there. We have these children that are going into higher learning, and they are being taught that it's okay to behave in the old kind of way. Media is teaching them to expose all of their ugly for the whole world to see, where it can't be erased. And then they're going to wonder why later on it's hard to get a job. They act a certain way on social media, and then they go in and try to get a job, and they're upset because, oh, don't nobody want to hire me, don't nobody want to give me a chance. But like James Baldwin said, I don't believe what you say because I see what you do. You might be fully capable of executing a job. You might be fully capable of representing a business and going in with a business plan and making some things work. But you know what? When people see what you do, what you say doesn't even matter anymore. You have to get real. We need to begin to walk real circumspect again about in that it's a whole generation that has been like left behind. So you have my generation, and I'm a 70s baby. I'll just put it that way. And then you have this older generation, these 30s and 40s that are still living. You know, we still have some elders that are 70, 80, 90 years old. And then you have my parents' generations, the 50s and the 60s children that were raised by these elders who did the best they could. They did give values, and they did, with the education that they were equipped with, tell us that, watch how you act out in public. Respect your elders. Even if they didn't teach us the 10 commandments, they taught us, you don't kill, you respect one another. When you see your brother or sister down or needing something, you give them a drink of water, give them a ride, give them some food. Then you have this other generation, these 70s, these our parents that passed on some of them, but then in the 80s, those same people got caught up in this epidemic of drugs, and they started to leave these children either with grandparents, and then some of the grandparents even joined in on drugs. And so now you have this generation of children, myself, these 70s and 80s and 90s babies who either want to be friends, their parents want to be friends with them, mothers and fathers are absent. So now you have these angry children, and then you have these techie children now who are playing these video games, who believe that there's a restart button on life, and I can get high, listen to this music. I'm gonna get on them in a minute too, the music industry. I can get high, and like a video game, I could take a real live gun with real live bullets and drive around and shoot up parties and kill people and then not have to look at it. I really, really, really believe that children should be made to witness the autopsies of their victims, especially if they're caught. Even if they're not, I think a really good gang diversion would be we have some children whose minds are already seared. The enemy has blinded their minds, and they're desensitized. But I still believe that if you were made to participate in what it is you destroyed, you wouldn't be so quick to destroy it, like your community. Our communities have money, and you have these people with these nonprofit organizations, and they have this wonderful spiel, but you don't see anything happening. You don't see the healing happen in the community. You only see them wanting to come together when a tragedy has happened. But I'm a firm believer in preventative medicine, preventative counseling, preventative, those things that you are put in a position to see way before it happens. That's why you have this organization, because you see the deficiencies in the community, but you don't stay active and on it until something happens. Even our pastors and preachers, I see our pastors and preachers leave here and go do missions in other countries, where those other countries' governments are corrupt, and they do what they do with their money. And we have a mission field and a battlefield right here. We have children, people of family members who are in your congregation who pay tithes to you. Children falling by the wayside, but you'll fly to Jamaica, you'll fly to Africa to start a church so that your name can be mentioned. You start biblical institutes and schools, but you're not teaching them to obey. You're not teaching the people, even in your congregation. They have answers. They have questions that need answers too. Their children are falling by the wayside. I'm one. My children came to church every Sunday for a time being, but then they still got lost in the cracks, went through the back door, because there's certain needs that aren't being met, because that same thing, we're taught to break the commandments. You can do whatever you want to do, just ask for forgiveness. Even if right before you die you ask for forgiveness, you're going to heaven. So you're taught to just live any old kind of goddamn way, and that's not true. How in a relationship do you do what you want to do and then feel like you're in right standing? You can't. If I continue to offend you, I'm not your friend. And the same thing with, like I said, when we were at this football game, the behaviors are offensive. The words to the music are offensive. And then whoever put on this game allowed the entertainment to come in, and it offended me, because I'm sitting here with my 10-year-old, and I'm having to, in the middle of the music, I'm having teachable moments. I'm telling her how degrading and disgraceful this is. All these children want to do, all they look at is, I want to be a dancer, I want to be a football player, I want to be a basketball player, and I want to be a rapper. But our minds were designed for so much more than that. We were created to solve. Yah gave us the same level of creativity that he has. Everything except for being omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent. But we are capable of solving things. We have great minds. Mathematics is needed. Science is needed. Teachers are needed. But all you want to do is do what you see on TV. This fake news, like 45 says, fake news. And it really is some fake news, because they only allow you to see what they want you to see. They don't show you the aftermath, but that is so Hasatan. I show you the beautiful picture that I paint, but I don't show you what it looks like behind the scenes. All of the selling of your soul, all of the degrading of yourself, all of the sacrificing of your people, because you are teaching them that this is all they are, this is all they can become, and it's not true. And because I know some of the little boys out there on that football field, 4.0, 3.0s. I know their moms and their dads. I know their background. I know what they're fully capable of, and I know that if they don't make it in the industry in football, they'll pay their way through college and they'll do great things. And I see the young ladies out there, think beautiful girls, and were raised fairly well, but they're again still caught up in the culture as well, wanting to look like what they see on TV. I stayed up last night late, and I was watching Basketball Wives, and I look at the Jackies and the Shawnees and the Tammys and all of that, and I'm like, this is where our children and the young women get all this attitude, and it's always a cattiness, and there's always offenses. Oh, you didn't speak to me when you seen me. Oh, she's just being messy and perpetuating gossip and arguing and fighting, when everybody is looking for somebody to follow. We have a generation of children that are looking for somebody to model after. And if they think this crap is okay, I hate to see what is coming in the near future. I see it already, and that's a whole nother spiel. This whole gender sensitivity and culture sensitivity. No one's sensitive to our culture. No one's sensitive to the fact that we are the people of the diaspora, that the reason why we're here is because of it was legal. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. It was legal to be treated less than an animal, and we're not even written in the Constitution. We're not even considered citizens because we're black. We're called black. Black isn't a nationality. Black isn't a country. We aren't. It's so much that's hidden in plain sight, and the distractions are what I started the tangent on in the beginning. The distractions are the music, the media, the drugs, and the dollar. And Hasatan using the very gifts that Yah gifted us with to help us to destroy ourselves. We have to get back to the laws, statutes, and commandments. We have to get back to Torah. That book is not a white man's book, or book given to us after we got off a slave ship by a white man. It was given for control, because they read it. They read the book. They studied the verses. They checked the chapters, and they checked the verses, and they did just like Balaam taught the king to do with the Israelites. They studied how to keep us in bondage, because we are the builders of communities. We are the builders of nations. We are the light of the world and the salt of the earth. We are royalty. Shalom.